55 or older, this show is for you. Welcome on in to Lowcountry Money Talk. We've got Phil Bloyd with Revolutionary Financial Group at the desk with us, helping us navigate retirement. Thanks so much for coming in.
Glad to be here, Jessa.
We have a lot to discuss on today's show. I do say that every time, but it's always true.
Sure.
It's always true.
There's a lot out there.
Now, one of the things we like to do on Lowcountry Money Talk is help kind of do some myth busting. Today, we're gonna walk you through the top 10 mistakes that you can make in the complex world of individual retirement accounts. So this is important because we're gonna give you some valuable insights to really help you navigate and build a solid foundation for your financial future. So Phil, kick us off here. Why is this such an important topic?
Well, because almost everyone has these type plans or 401ks or something related to that. They can be complex, but we want to follow KISS.
Not the band.
Not today, but I'm saying we want to keep it simple. I don't want to say stupid, but silly.
Right.
Okay, you said Sally, we'll say silly.
I said I like
okay.
Sally, but silly's
so,
good too.
You know, if we get too complex, you know, we miss things or whatever. So the idea would be, first of all, the reason that they become so complex is because there's so many regulations. And when we bring in, you know, the IRS and taxing and ages for distribution and what happens to beneficiaries and how they take the money out, it can become very complex.
Right, it can, and there's differences that we need to keep in mind, and there's different ways of kind of navigating these products. So walk us back through the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA, and then for people out there who are still working and if they do have an employer match.
Yeah, okay, so the importance of IRAs are, you know, these are probably for most people their single largest saving mechanism. Because, you know, if you don't see it, you don't miss it. Yeah. So maybe it comes out of your check, you know, and you're like, oh, you know, so we don't know how much we're paying in taxes because it comes out of our check, or we don't pay attention to it. We don't pay attention to our FICA, our Social Security, our Medicare deductions. We're just like, okay, this is the check I get. So a great way for people to save that normally, you know, if they had to write out a check and deposit in a bank, maybe they don't save as much. So they're important in that sense. The other importance is that your employer, for a lot of people, will match a certain percentage. So it always blows me away, Jessa, when, you know, I'm talking to people, I'm like, how much are you putting for 401k? And they're like, well, I'm not contributing. I'm like, well, what's your employer's match? And they may say 3%, 5%, whatever. And I'm like, you realize that's free money.
Totally free money that you could be getting.
Because your employer's going to put in a certain amount based upon how much you put in. So if you put nothing more in, at least put in the match.
At least just the match, to get that free money.
Right. So now let's talk about the difference, like you asked about 401ks, Roth compared to traditional. So on the traditional 401k, they're taking the deduction pre-tax. Right. So for example, if I were contributing $10,000 and a year and my tax rate was 20%, for state and federal local taxes or whatever, FICA is not exempt, but you know, I would have a deferral of the 2,000. I was going to say deduction, but it's more of a deferral.
Right.
So it's pre-taxed on the contribution. Now, on the Roth, you're going to go ahead and pay that tax.
Right.
But the growth, see, the bigger part of your 401k is probably not going to be your contribution over 20 years. It's going to be the growth. Yeah. Okay? So on the Roth, we forego the pre-tax status, but all of our gains going forward, we don't have to pay taxes on those. Right.
They're actually yours.
That would be my recommendation for most people. Now the employer's match is going to be taxable. So if we roll that out into an IRA, you'll have two. You'll have one where it'll be taxable. You have one that's pre-tax, like the Roth. So we have one Roth and one with the employer's part.
Yeah, which makes sense. You're still going to take advantage of the free money. That we'll worry about the taxes later. But at least on what you can control, you're going to pay taxes now.
Yeah, that'll be the bigger part.
That's the bigger part, of course. Okay, lots more to cover. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about rollovers, whether or not to leave that 401k money, keep it there, move it over. We're going to find out next. Phil,
All right.
We'll be right back.